So what if I said I want to have a conversation about how I think you're a bitch? Then what?
Well,
Would that be academic?
Yeah, I could give you my points about a reference of why I feel that way.
I wouldn't want to entertain that conversation because that's your opinion trying to, again, give me a tagline. See, your interpretation of what you believe me to be is irrelevant. If we're going to have a conversation to be men, we need to talk about data. We need to talk about historical fact. We need to keep it on topic. Now you're attacking one person. That is disrespectful.
If Farrakhan made a statement that you don't agree with, you gonna call him a tether?
No, listen, if
Is Farrakhan a tether?
I don't consider him a tether.
Why not?
Reason why I don't
foundational Black American.
Thing is, and we can feel like that opinion is disrespectful. You don't get to come. Hold on, bro. You don't get to come over here and tell me whether I should feel disrespected or not. Oh no, we should be kumbaya and have a conversation. F you and that conversation.
I think the last conversation brings up a good point. Yeah, you don't probably have to know that people are having these conversations, but see, it's not like the big three own the spaces anymore. It's internet. We move different. So when you sit up and say we don't have control of our image, we have more control of our image today than we have ever had. That's just point blank. And if you don't know that, you living on a rock. You know what I mean? And so I think we can make this real simple. Let's just make it simple. And I don't want to be long-winded because I think you come and suck the air out of the place, Nathan. So I'm going to be short-winded, okay? So number one, I think if we had this in family, you wouldn't let an outside family come in and tell your family what you should be doing and what you have and what you don't have. These are conversations are usually happen within the family. And I think that's what everybody's really saying here, that everybody wants to take pot shot with us. You're right. We don't own America, Nathan. But hell, y'all own Jamaica and your family still came here.
So they don't own Jamaica.
But you know what I'm saying, Mr. White. I was trying to make a bigger point.
You're making a point, but to clarify, they don't own Jamaica neither.
Oh, I got that. And so I'm going to leave it right at that. I don't let other outsiders come in and tell me how I should raise my family and what I should do within my family and what we got and what we don't got. That's things that are discussed between the family. And you can call it intellect. You can call it whatever you want to. There's certain conversations you shouldn't just get in.
Yeah, that's disappointing, OG. And the reason why is because it's not just coming from people outside. The context was laid that this was a panel and it was a conversation. Some of the things that he said, some of the things that Nathan said, I've said. I was born here, live here, was raised here. And so I'm talking amongst people, and what we try to do, we throw pillars up of pride, because all I hear is pride. Well, we can't be talking about, and there was no instruction in that entire 2.5 hours or 2 hours and 40-some minutes they talked. There was no instruction. They were sharing ideals. That should be something that we should be able to do. And at one time, I do remember Black Americans being able to do this and be civil about it. But in current day, it seems like anytime it pierces or what seems to be an attack on the culture, they're automatically like, well, put them out. Don't invite them to the cookout. It's ignorant. It doesn't even make any sense. And why I was saying to Sweeney earlier, the reason why these conversations happen is because our experience is very unique. You don't have to think about other nations. If they live in Japan, they're Japanese. If they live in China, they're Chinese. If they live in Israel, they're Israelites. This is easy. But in America, it's not like that. So we have cultures amongst cultures. And it's like, for us to not even be able to have the conversation, if it's so rich and it's so strong and it's so consistent, then it should echo one tone, one energy, one word. And it should be able to be depicted in packaged and given. And it can't, even amongst us.
So Mr. Taylor,
do you think we have an academic argument?
Let me ask you a question.
Right?
With all that you just, go ahead, White. Go ahead.
In regards to disrespect, True. Do you think if we have an academic argument, as long as it's you can have a disrespectful conversation as long as it's an academic argument?
I don't disrespect's very hard to quantify, Marcus, and I'm being honest.
All right. So let's just say for the sake of a conversation, I wanted to discuss the points in which I think you are doing some bullshit, and I called you a negative name. Or, for instance, if I say you being a tether, do we need that? And we have a discussion about that. Is that an academic discussion about the points and why in which I say that?
If
Is that necessary?
If you added a tagline to me that I don't agree with, then we can talk about it. But I'm not gonna get bent out of shape. I'm probably not gonna take it disrespectful. Me personally.
So what if I said I want to have a conversation about how I think you a bitch? Then what?
Well,
Would that be academic?
I mean, y'all guys let me know down below. What do y'all guys think? How do y'all feel about outsiders having an opinion about our culture and our community? I think it is good at times that we do have outsiders pretty much having a blind spot, right? Blind spot in the sense that they can see things that we may not see. They can call us out on certain things that we may not like, or we may want to turn a blind eye to, right? What could that be? I'm pretty sure a white man can sit here and say, well, listen, let's have a simple conversation about how the black community is. A good example is just Pearly Things when she came on to Fatty's show about a month ago, and pretty much a lot of people got upset with her because she was talking about how we pretty much in the black community, let's just call it for what it is, right? Let's just call it for what it is. We account for a lot of crimes. We account for most of crimes. We have a lot of black on black violence. When you look at Chicago's, when you look at the gangs, right? She pointed that out and a lot of people got offended. Now, granted, once again, I'm not taking her side for anything, right? I don't think there really was any reason for her to bring it up. She just brought it up just to bring it up because it's like, what? Well, for what? But you then start to see how a lot of people felt about it. Now, of course, a lot of people felt, they're like, okay, what's the point of bringing it up? But overall, there was a lot of people who was like, dude, you're a white person. Why are you even talking about our situations and issues? You don't know nothing about it. And I'm just simply saying that, hey, I feel like they can. I mean, if they see something and they see there's something wrong, can they not say something about it? But that's just me. Let's continue.
I could give you my points about a reference of why I feel that way.
I wouldn't want to entertain that conversation because that's your opinion trying to, again, give me a tagline. See, your interpretation of what you believe me to be is irrelevant. If we're going to have a conversation to be men, we need to talk about data. We need to talk about historical fact. We need to keep it on topic. Now you're attacking one person. That is disrespectful.
Okay, so true. I'm not calling you a bitch. I'm asking a question in regards. But you see how your voice raised? Because that was disrespectful questions to ask you, right? So we're having an intellectual conversation right now. I've crossed the line of disrespect, and now you have a problem with it. That's why you threw the we're men thing, because it could potentially lead to another thing, correct?
Well, I'm answering your question. See, again,
why was it important to reference the we're men?
Because there's an expectation that I have amongst men. There's a maturity an expectation amongst men. We're having conversation. Yeah, there's a topic matter. So yeah, I wouldn't understand why you felt it necessary to attack or poke or probe. That's irrelevant. Like, what are you ultimately trying to invoke?
Do you?
That was my question to you, Mr. Table.
Yep. All right.
When you have outside people coming in, what are you trying to invoke?
But again, from what
I'm not talking speaking to you personally.
Yeah.
Because if anybody up here has experience with other people from other countries, I would say I have great experience from other people from other countries. Let's just start with the Minister Farrakhan. He don't have the same conversation that guy who was on that the tape y'all was playing. He don't talk like Mr. Nathan was talking. Matter of fact, he don't talk like what you are talking, because I believe his interest in black people and what they got and what they don't have is to uplift black people, not to step on them.
But OG, there was
so if Farrakhan made a statement that you don't agree with, you gonna call him a tether?
No, listen, is
Farrakhan a tether?
I don't consider him a tether.
Why not?
Reason why I don't
foundational Black American.
Okay, so reason why you know what? I take that back. If we go by the definition, wait a minute. If you want me to answer your question, bro, I'm gonna answer your question. I take that back. I will consider him by the true definition of the tether. Now,
okay. So Farrakhan's a tether.
Okay, wait. Can I finish? Okay. Thank you.
All right,
I know you quick on the gun. I know you quick on the gun now, bro. You know. So
I'm trying to be
but
like you, JC.
you can see wait a minute. You can see the best interest of us in his words.
Okay.
So that would make a wait. I'm asking you a question. Would that make a difference or not?
I think a person's intentionality absolutely matters when they're having. I think the brother M. White is suggesting that Frank Zuna, I think his name is Zuna, does not have good intentions in the conversation. That's his point. So when he asked me, do I feel like the conversation is disrespectful? I say no. If that's his opinion and he's having an intellectual debate with someone, he truly believes Black Americans don't have a culture. That's his opinion. He has a right to have an opinion, and he has a right to debate it amongst people who are representatives of that culture who can argue, right? And prove him wrong. Prove him wrong. It's just that simple. It's not. It's
well,
to
why
me.
not have that?
I'm looking at.
Why not have that conversation?
Why
not have that conversation with his own people?
Listen. All I'm saying is what I'm saying.
Wait a minute. Why not have? And you asked the question.
I heard the question.
What is important? Wait a minute. What would be the importance of having that conversation with us and not just having that conversation with his own people? Now I'm gonna tell you why I say that. Wait a minute. Nathan, just let me finish. I land my chopper because I have very little bit of money to afford gas, so I don't want to run out. Okay.
Go ahead, do your thing, bro.
This is the problem Charlie Kirk had. Same problem. This is the problem he had. Too much interference over here on this sport team when he should be dealing with his own sport team. That was his problem. And that's what I see in these conversations.
If you lack information on another culture, does that mean you're not allowed to engage with them and speak about what your misunderstanding is? It may be a negative connotation that you have about that culture, but how can we clarify it to the outside world who we are? And if we're quick to clarify what that culture is, then as many other cultures have done, we can commodify, control our image, and have a grip on what we actually want to present to the world because we've already decided amongst ourselves what our culture is. I think it's the lack of the ability to communicate that so often that has become a problem, and why others, they just feed into whatever's fed to them via the media rather than actually having someone to consort with and say, hey, what is Black culture? I think there is no Black culture, but you know what, from what I've seen, it hasn't been. But when you ask someone who's a part of it, you can get that clarification.
Sister, with all due respect, I consider that a bunch of word salad. I made a point. I made a point. No. Fish, Nathan, let me handle this, okay? You can always rebut. After,
you just said you didn't have enough gas to fly your plane.
No. She came right after me, so I want to retort back to her. Okay,
right,
I made a point. We can see this same thing with the CK. I don't want to call this guy name out anymore. We seen the same thing with him, spending so much time on talking about if or not, or digging in someone else's culture versus his own culture took him out. And this is what I'm saying. This is where this stuff we don't have to explain to the world what we do. The world see what we do. And when you come in with bad intention, trying to step on that for whatever reason, I have a problem with that.
Also, he didn't say what is Black culture. He said Black people have no culture. He didn't ask. Yeah. Hold on, bro.
That's his opinion.
That's his opinion.
And guess what? And the thing is, and we can feel like that opinion is disrespectful. You don't get to come. Hold on, bro. You don't get to come over here and tell me whether I should feel disrespected or not. Oh no, we should be kumbaya and have a conversation. Fuck you and that fucking conversation. Not saying it specifically to you. I'm just saying, fuck you and that conversation. I have every right to feel disrespected by some bullshit that you're saying. So just because some goofy ass niggas decided to go, well, I ain't gonna call them goofy, shout out to, but just because some people decide to have a conversation with somebody that's being disrespectful doesn't mean that all of us have to feel like, oh, well, just because they're having a conversation, we should let that shit slide. So what are you gonna do about it? I just told you. I don't.
Nothing. You can't do anything about people having a conversation.
I have a question.
But you hear what I'm saying?
How about we do it like this? How about we do it like this? How about this? Hey, y'all, all hands on deck. Who wanted to discuss whether Jamaica has a culture or not? Can we table this conversation and we start talking about? And we start talking about whether Jamaica has a culture or not, whether Kenya has a culture or not, whether.
I don't think we should do that because that's disrespectful to those people there.
I have a question.
I don't have an interest.
That's fucking disrespectful.
I wonder why we don't have an interest. Why? Because we normally leave people alone. We leave other people alone. Hold on, bro.
We the A side.
We leave people alone to what they do. It's their shit.
That's a lie.
Why do y'all feel the need to come over here and discuss us so much? Y'all have your own culture within the U.S. Jamaicans come over here. Kenyans come over here, Nigerians come over here, West Africans come over here, and y'all have your own culture over here, and y'all do the things that y'all do. Don't nobody bother y'all. Why do y'all feel the need to always have to discuss us?
Yo, Sweeney, interestingly in the video, he said Jamaica don't have no culture either.
And that shit was trash. He was a clown. I'm gonna tell you this. The first thought that I said, my mic was muted when I said, oh, he want to be disrespectful to everybody.
Oh, when you heard that? Oh, okay.
Yeah, my mic was muted when I said that. But I feel that way. Like, bro was trying to be disrespectful to everybody. Yeah. I wonder what culture he specifically came from, because I want to know, do you have this same smoke for your own people? Or are you just?
He did.
Saint mentioned it earlier in the convo. He said where he was from. I don't know if anybody remembers it. But he said that country's not doing well at all.
Sweeney is a moist ass panderer, man. I mean, like, brother, like sometimes I be wanting to give him the benefit of the doubt, but it's just like you can just tell he just wants to be heard. That's it, bro. Because a lot of times he don't bring much of anything when it comes down to substance. I mean, just literally a last video that we had, he said men brushing their hair and trying to get waves is the same thing as women wearing wigs and weaves. Like I putting glue in their hair so the wig can stay down on their head. I mean, just doing all types of stuff. Putting all types of shit in their head. And you said those are the same, so that just doesn't make sense. So then when you look at this guy, the fact that you can get upset, like you just kind of just proved a point that, I mean, dog, all you do is just get into your feelings, right? A lot of black folk get into their feelings when somebody talks about our culture and they may not be from our culture. They may not be from our community. And to then sit here and bring a weak argument that, oh, well, you don't know. Well, you can't tell me how to feel. You can't tell me if I'm, offended or what I should be offended by or what I should be disrespected by. Like, bro, what? Once again, 10 times out of 10, it's somebody bringing up something that makes sense. But as we stated before, people, like, here's a great example of this. If a black man says something to a black woman about anything that involves a black woman taking accountability, making changes, they will say, brother, you don't know jack squiddly squat. You hate your mother. You hate black woman. If a black woman says something to a black woman, what does she say? You're just being a pygmy and all you're doing is pandering to black men. If a white man, a white woman says something, what do they say, right? Blanket wise, you are white, you don't know anything about us, so why are you saying anything? Well, black men know about you guys, and anytime they say something, it is met with animosity, it's met with disrespect, it's met with a lot of gaslighting, it's met with a lot of excuses. And I mean, once again, this is not something that men should have to go through. Once again, why shun away people who just want to simply help? Now, I get it, there are going to be a lot of people, especially in different cultures, who are going to try to quote unquote help us, but inadvertently just going to end up benefiting them in the long run, right? I guess you could say white folk, right? Where let's just be real. You would think that you're feminists, right? A good example is 1960s, where your white women coming into the black family, destroying the black home, telling the black women they don't need the black man, that they don't need to be oppressed, this, that, and the third. And black women are thinking that that's empowerment, thinking that that's going to help them in the long run, just to come to find out that these are the same people that these black women swear up and down they don't like, that they will sit here and trash black men for dating them, that, I mean, once again, so how is it they can pull y'all out of the households in 1960s, but now all y'all can do is sit here and talk about how trash they are? All you can do is sit here and try to scare men that's not dealing with them by saying, hey, well, listen, they will sit here and falsely accuse you of anything, as if we're not literally seeing a bunch of black women falsely accusing black men every single day. But once again, that's just because when you're trying to just give us advice, when you're trying to give our people advice, they're just not receptive of it. That's just a fact, right? Proof is in the pudding. We see it every single day. Once again, no one will ever be able to hold us accountable or be able to call us out on our BS or be able to look at some of our flaws, because you will always have people like Sweeney saying that, hey, well, listen, that offended me. Hey, well, listen, you're not even from our culture. So what do you even know about our culture? Once again, that sounds very weak coming from a heterosexual male. Any heterosexual male that meets any point with, well, that is how I feel offended. You can't say something. You can't. Come on, bro. Like, come on, man. So, look, guys, y'all let me know down below, man. What do y'all guys think of this stupidity? I think it's just mighty wild. But so y'all guys let me know, what do y'all think about this? As I stated before, I think it is okay for people to have an opinion if they see something, right? But it's up to us to be able to receive it. Like I said, see you in the next one.